What's going on, family? It's Trip Young, and I'm introducing a new segment called Trip Talk, and it's basically going to be me just chopping it up with some of my friends and acquaintances and people that I've come in contact with throughout my years and being in the film and entertainment business. We starting off with a Harlem legend, bad boy recording artist from the early 2000s. Y'all probably know his two biggest hits, Let's Get It and Special Delivery, two records that still bump at damn near every party. They can still bump. He's gonna be calling in from jail because he is still behind bars. He turned himself in almost 11 years ago now, and he's been in prison since. But he will be calling in tonight, and we're gonna chop it up, man. We're gonna go through his career. We're gonna talk about his mental health. We're gonna talk some drug addiction. We're gonna talk about music. We're gonna talk about a whole lot. So sit tight, and as soon as he calls in, we're gonna drop the interview.
Hello?
Hello?
Hey, what's going on?
What's going on? Can you hear me good?
Yeah, I can hear you. What's happening? What's happening? How you?
I'm good, man. Blessed. I can't complain. How's everything on your end?
Praise God. That's what's up. Everything is everything, man. Just holding on, We staying out the way, you know what I'm saying?
That's a good thing, and I definitely appreciate you for taking the time out. I know it's probably crazy for you, so I definitely want to thank you for taking the time out to chop it up for a couple of minutes.
For sure, bro. You already know, man. That's how we got to do, man.
That's a
You
fact.
know what I mean? Black enterprise, baby. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it's, fam is fam, though, at the end of the day. You know what I'm saying? Son is good people, so I figured I'd do them that. You know what I mean?
That's a fact. I definitely appreciate that. So let me introduce Harlem legend G Dep is in the building right now with us. He's calling in right now.
Sure.
And we definitely are glad to have you with us. We got a lot of things that we're gonna get to on this interview, but I gotta start right at the peak, right with the music. I'm gonna go back to Child of the Ghetto, 2001. That was your first major album on Bad Boy Records.
For sure, that's a fact.
Okay, so talk.
Bad Boy Entertainment. Shout out to the whole Bad Boy. You know what I mean?
That's
Bad Boy for life, B.
That's a fact. That's a fact. Talk to me about that album and what went into making that album.
Well, that was basically, that was the time that defined, my career was the apex moment. You know what I'm saying? Of my unprofessional career. You know what I'm saying? It took me, that was the threshold from unprofessionalism to professionalism. You know what I'm saying? And it taught me a lot. You know what I'm saying? It was a point where, I just was able to express myself, you know what I mean, to the fullest over high powered beats. You know what I'm saying? Around, professional, you know what I'm saying, hit makers and, you know what I'm saying, musical savants. You know what I'm saying? So it was just a renaissance in my life. You know what I'm saying?
Got you. How did releasing that album change your life?
I mean, in a lot of ways, it catapulted me directly from, being a boy to a man. You know what I'm saying? For one, you know what I mean? Because with great power comes great responsibility.
Mm-hmm.
Word, yeah. So, you know what I'm saying? I had to, I went from, you know what I'm saying, to being a bill to paying bills. Like, you know what I'm saying? So it was like, yeah. So it was definitely a eye-opening experience, transformation. You know what I mean? All that. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I'm pretty sure, what it feels like to be a young man. Just to running some bread and, have to take care of your family and take care of your business. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So it made you ready. It made me ready. You know what I mean?
Gotcha. Yeah. That's a fact. And one of my favorite songs still. I mean, that's a lot. It's a lot of people's favorite songs to this day. You can't put that song on and you don't get up off your ass and start dancing. Let's get it. Talk,
Wow.
talk to me about that single, man.
Yeah, I mean, that was one of them things. You know what I'm saying? The producer Yogi, he had a single. You know what I'm saying? He had a group called Crew. I don't know if you remember that group, but I'm pretty sure if you hear the song, you will remember. But the dude, he ended up being a hit maker.
Uh-huh.
You know what I mean? A hit man, excuse me, on with the label. And he kept telling me, "Yo, Dep, I got something for you. I got this joint. It's gonna be crazy. Like it's gonna be like bells and whistles. Like you're gonna go crazy on it. I know it." And I was like, "No doubt." And like we just kept missing each other. And then one day, he was at the studio and he was like, "Yo, ride home with me. I got the joint with me." And I was like, "Oh, word." So we rolled home and he let me hear the joint, and it was like a whistle went, like a, you know what I'm saying, a bell went off in my head, like, yo, this is crazy.
Uh-huh.
You know what I mean? And that was really basically, you know what I'm saying, all she wrote. I went to the spot that night. I was living in Lenox Terrace at the time. You know what I'm saying? I felt like the Godfather of Harlem. I don't know if y'all watching that out there, but I was in the steps, chilling by myself in the same building. That's why it's crazy, because the same building from the episode of Godfather of Harlem when he was in the steps, sitting on the steps. That's how I was. I'm chilling. I'm in the steps with my little $50 radio. You know what I mean? Just writing, going hard. And I wrote the Let's Get It that night. You know what I'm saying? Right over the joint. You know what I mean? And it was one of them joints that sat there like we didn't really understand it. We just was like, yo, what is this? You know what I mean? And it didn't have nobody on it. It just had me. I was just on it dolo. You know what I mean? Dudes was just listening to it. We was listening to it for months. Like, yo, what we gonna do with this? Like, you know what I'm saying? I'm riding around. My peoples is loving it. They like, yo, but what is it? Like,
but it became a staple in Harlem. That song was like a voice for Harlem.
At the end of the day, that's a fact. And then Puffy got his hands on it. He listened to it after a while. At first, he was like, yeah, Dep, I gotta sit with that. Like, I don't, you know what I mean? And then after a while, he was like, yo, nah, I got to get on this. You know what I mean? And he was like, I need to get on this. I'm going to put Black Rob on this, and we going to do that. And we was going to do the Three the Hard Way. That was the name of the little clique we had. He said, we're going to do the Three the Hard Way on this.
Well, it definitely worked out.
Yeah, you know what I mean? And that was that,
The Harlem Shake dance, though, kind of got famous, though, once the video dropped.
Yeah, for sure. So, I mean, it was already, I'm pretty sure it was already a dance, it was already a thing.
Oh, yeah. But as far as on a larger scale for like the world to see, when that video dropped, that kind of was like, it just kind of went crazy.
Yeah, I could say that.
It kind of like made it viral before things was going viral, but that video kind of made the dance go viral.
Basically, yeah, I could agree with that. Because it was definitely one of them things where it just grew a whole body on its own. I was like, yo, dudes, little kids running up on me, yo, look at this, yo, they doing the flipping the hats and flipping the hat, putting it on their foot and flipping the hat back on their head. I'm like, yo, what? It went crazy. Like, it really did. Like you said, it was one of them things that was viral before they even had viral. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Once you get the little kids going crazy, you know what I'm saying? It's about something, because little kids, they honest, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
They be like, they let you know right off the, you know what I mean? Or, you know what I mean? They keep it right there.
It's pure.
The stove.
It's pure.
It's pure. This ain't it, or this is it. And they used to run up on me like, nah, look, yo, Dep, yo. You know what I mean? Shaking their shoulders and all that. I said, oh, this might be something right here. It was one of them things,
Now, I got a question, Dep. Do you remember Big Gene?
Big Gene?
Yeah, the security.
Yeah, that's a fact. For sure I remember Big Gene.
All right, now he told me he was the one that found the kids that did the dancing in the video.
He probably did. Because I don't know, I didn't know the process. I know when we had auditions for the class. I mean, excuse me, why I say class, I don't even know why I said for the video.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And they was just, or they was auditioning. All type of kids came down there. People was just doing their little dances, and the kids happened to be there. I knew the dude that was running the little dance clique. It was an older dude named Wes. He wasn't older, but he was like a taller kid. Like, you know what I'm saying? He was a young kid, but he was like bigger than everybody else. But that was his little clique.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And they came through, and they just didn't pick him because he was like big. They wanted like little kids.
Younger,
you know what
yeah.
I'm saying? So like, but I never knew who brought him around. You know what I'm saying? So it probably was Gene, but I remember Big Gene though. That's a fact.
Yeah, he told me to tell you what up. He sent love to you, brother. He told me to tell you that.
All right, I appreciate that. Tell him right back. You hear me?
Definitely will do. And then Special Delivery dropped right after that, and it was just like kind of off to the races. Like everybody was loving G Dep at that time. Like you brought something crazy to the game.
Oh man, praise God, man. I just was doing what I knew to do. You know what I'm saying? That was what I always did, as a young kid, writing and putting little songs together. You know what I'm saying? That was my whole thing. That was, so it was time when I got a chance to, put it out there on a professional level. It was like just something that I did already. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, that's a fact. How was because you guys went on tour after that record dropped.
Praise God. Yeah, say that again. You went on tour?
Yeah, to promote after that when that album dropped.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Talk to me about that, man. Talk to me about life, because I mean prior to that, you pretty much was in the city. You was in Harlem. I don't know how much you traveled after that, but once you get that kind of success and you get ready to start traveling and going on tour, I know things are different. So talk to me about tour and being on the road.
I mean, I ain't gonna lie. Like that was something that was a shell shock to me. I ain't gonna lie. They really understand, the when you hear about tour, you hear, I don't know. For me, I heard, people talk about tour, and I thought it was just a big party, like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Which it is, you know what I'm saying? But you gotta be ready for that. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you can't be, you know what I'm saying? Like, not rested. You know what I'm saying? You can't, you know what I mean? So that's why I'm saying it's not a party, because you got to be able to balance all of that. And there's no way to really, you know what I'm saying, just do what you want to do and be on tour. You got to be responsible about, your rest, your diet, you know what I mean? What's going to give you energy, what's going to take the energy, what's going to zap you, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, you know what I mean? Like, I really didn't understand that. So I was out on the road, you know what I mean? Like, just sleeping at the wrong time, like dudes knocking on my door. Yo, what happened? Yo, what you doing? We gotta be over here. It was hectic, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I had to really learn, like, you know what I'm saying, the hard way, like, you know what I mean? Like, we went through a lot of trial and error before I got it, you know what I mean? Even remotely correct. Like, I still didn't get it right all the way, but I started to understand, like, yo,
after a while,
you gotta be easy. You know what I mean? Yeah, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you gotta kind of, this is your job. Like, it's not really like just fun and games all the time.
Yeah,
so,
you can play, but you still gotta make sure you're putting that work in.
Yeah, that's a fact. You gotta, you know what I mean? Because you hit these towns and these cities, you want to go to the hot spots. You want to go to the park. You want to go to the club. You want to go maybe see what the hood is like. You know what I mean? And we was trying to do all that. Just like, nah, go. As soon as you pull up, you gotta run to the radio station. You gotta go do your drops. You know what I'm saying? And so you definitely gotta understand what's going on. Like, and I be telling people that, a lot of people ask me about, like, yo, what you feel about, when you get on, like, what it's like. I'm like, yo, it's really just it's a job. Like, you know what I mean? You're doing what you love, but you gotta remember that, you know what I mean? You got a job to do.
Yeah, and if you don't do it, it's easily to lose that job if you ain't doing what you're supposed to do.
Real fast. That's not a game.
Yeah,
that's definitely a fact.
But you were doing what you're supposed to do at the time, because you special delivery hit 59 on the Billboard charts, which is huge for hip hop, especially at that time. to have a record to really kind of cross over. So what was that like when you seen that, when you seen the record going up the charts at a time? Like, it's not like now, where now you see a lot more hip hop, records charting and going high up on the charts. But in 2002, 2001, you know what I'm saying? Like, you really had to have a record to really hit them charts like that.
Right, right. I mean, I ain't gonna lie to you. I didn't really pay a lot of attention to that. Like, I just kind of, I was hearing stuff from, I had a little, my little team. Yo, Dep, you doing good? You on the billboards, and yo, you know what I'm saying? Yo, you getting, some notoriety. Like, people really feeling it. You on Hot 9, you top. What was the joint at that time? The top 8 at 8. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah,
that
yeah.
was the stuff. Yeah, that was the stuff that was really catching my ear. Like, yo, Dep, yeah, funk Master Flex is dropping bombs on the joint. And I'm like, yeah, cool. Like, that was really, you know what I'm saying, as far as I went, as far as paid attention to a lot of that. But after a while, as time went on, I started checking out old books, and I was seeing, the joint on in the billboard,
Mm-hmm.
line up like you said, and all of that. So, it was definitely a blessing. I ain't gonna lie, you know what I'm saying? But like, a lot of it moved. It went so fast. A lot of it was just like, a blur. I was just, trying to do the next thing. You know what I'm saying?
I got you. Now, you signed a 5 album deal with Bad Boy at the time, correct?
Yeah, yeah,
So
something like that. I think it's even more than that. But go ahead.
so now what happens with that? Because you only released Child of the Ghetto through Bad Boy. Your next album didn't come until was it 2007? You did the Bad Boy album with Loon. So what happens in between? Like, how does that work? Do you have to pay anything back to, like, the labels, or because you didn't complete those projects?
Yeah, I mean that was. Nah, I don't really. It was like kind of like, stipulated that we had to do these albums, but you know I got to the point where, you know what I mean. It was, hip hop was changing. It wasn't really, the way hip hop was being delivered and service had changed. So it was kind of like, I had to catch up to that before we even thought about putting another album out. So, the label wasn't even really, you know what I mean? They wasn't really stressing it. They was like, yo, just try to make joints, like, you know what I'm saying? Just keep making music, hit the studio. And we kind of kept the same mind frame, and as far as the formula, as far as how we was making music.
Mm-hmm.
I know from my point of view, like, we was kind of keeping the same format. We just got to make these smashes, like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But the game was moving so quick that, you know what I mean. It was like the label really didn't have a choice but to, you know what I'm saying, just kind of just watch the game moving. You know what I'm saying? So it was like a lot of time, a lot of it was played by ear. You know what I mean? And it got critical where it was like, that, we you ain't moving with the game. You know what I'm saying? So, like, we gotta just we gotta keep our food on our table. So whenever you figure it out,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying, you come through, and maybe we could talk. You know what I'm saying?
So it was still like an open door kind of a thing, where it's like, all right, you're
it
chilling
was
out,
like, well,
but come get to work when you ready.
yeah, when you know what I mean, cause look, you see what's happening. You know what I'm saying? And I was like, okay, cool. So I was, like, that's how a lot of other projects started to happen. Like, you know what I mean? Like, like the Dep and Loon album. You know what I'm saying? Like, I was putting mixtapes out. You know what I'm saying? I was trying to, figure it out. You know what I mean?
Because you were still releasing work, but as far as actual EP, the next one didn't come until that Loon album, the one
Right.
with Loon. Okay. So,
Right.
question, because you got to Bad Boy after Big's death. But did that, like, ever kind of, did that weigh on you as far as when you was thinking about signing with the label? Did you ever feel like uncomfortable, or, you know what I'm saying, like, is this the right place for me to be because of all the things that was going on with Bad Boy before you got there?
Nah. Because don't get me wrong, when Big passed, it was devastating. You know what I mean, for everybody. You know what I'm saying? Obviously,
Mm-hmm.
you know what I'm saying. But when I got there, the label was in the middle of, just a, they didn't want to. You could tell that they didn't want to They didn't want to let Big, Dep, and they didn't want him to die in vain. Like, you know what I'm saying? That's
Yeah,
what
they
it
want to
felt
keep it
like. It
going.
was like, nah, we gotta keep going for Big at least. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it was like, okay, what you got? Like, you know what I'm saying? So it was more of a pressure thing, if anything. Like if Big was still there, actually. Like, you know what I'm saying? It was like, yo, you gotta give it up, son. Like, this is where Biggie was at. Like,
yeah, so you gotta really put on.
Yeah, like, you know what I'm saying? That was what it really was. It was like they wasn't playing the machine. The machine was so crazy when I got there.
Mm-hmm.
It was like, yo, listen, you know what I mean? And you just had to come. So that was basically how that was. It wasn't really like, anything like, like it was anything detrimental. If anything, it motivated me. You know what I mean?
Yeah, to keep going.
I'm pretty sure everybody else too. You know what I mean? Like, we knew Big was in them halls. Like, you know what I'm saying? It wasn't a game.
No, that's a fact. Because at that time it was you and Black Rob. Y'all had a couple of crazy records that was really pushing Bad Boy forward. I guess into the new millennium. Because he had Whoa. And then when you had Let's Get It, a special delivery, and it was, y'all was off to the races at that point.
That's a fact, man. BR, shout to BR, man. He make magic happen, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, he had joints already, you know what I'm saying? But they wanted to put his album out. They needed a single, and he pulled that right out of his hat, that Whoa joint. You know what I'm saying? Like, yo, I need a joint, yo. And like, dudes came to the studio, and he just had the beat playing, and it was like, yo, what I'm gonna do with this? Like, and he just like right there, whoa. Like, we was like, yeah, that's kind of crazy. That was, you know what I mean? The rest is, you know what I mean? The rest is history.
that thing just took
Let's
off.
put that together like just like that. Like, you know what I mean?
Sir, what's your relationship like now with your label mates? Are you in touch with any of them?
I mean, for the most part, like, BR still, shoot me pictures, through Second Party, like, you know what I'm saying? Yo, tell Dep I said what up, you know what I mean? But dudes is moving. I understand, we grown men with families, and you know what I'm saying? I don't expect dudes to, you know what I'm saying, be, holding my hand on nothing like that, you know what I mean? But dudes, dudes is doing them. I'm pretty sure love is love. We always loved each other. It wasn't nothing. We never had nothing. Like, it was crazy because it was like, even though we all was trying to be separate entities, dudes just, we all knew it was enough life for everybody, man. Just go, like, you know what I mean?
And it was kind of a family thing with y'all.
Yeah, it was definitely a family. It was like, yo, just go, whatever, you know what I mean? Go. It wasn't never no like, yo, this person is this person, and yo, and the whispering, and nah. We was like, yo, whatever, what's good, like, you know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? And that's, and it's still like that. I'm pretty sure, because I holler at dude during this bid. I spoke to Mark Curry. I spoke to Black Rob, Wild. You know what I mean? The only one I haven't spoke to is Loon. Loon, he just came home. I haven't spoke to him, directly, but he knows some dudes in here. You know what I mean? And we done spoke to him. You know what I'm saying? So it's love, man. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to the whole Bad Boy, man. You know what I'm saying? Obviously, I can't speak to who I can't speak to, but that is what it is.
I got you. What about Puff? Have you spoken to him since you've been away?